What up, Tickets and Gamers? This is your boy Jermaine with Tech Toys and Gaming, and today I have an awesome resolution to all, or most of you guys' questions out there, and that is, which is better, the Fifine AM8 or the PD200X, which is what I'm using here by Maono? It's a question I've been wanting to answer for myself because, well, I've put a lot of these higher end, lower budget microphones head to head in audio battles, and right now the PD200X has been reigning supreme over the K688, and everything below the K688 has reigned supreme over even other cheaper budget dynamic and condenser microphones. So hence why you see it here on screen. But I have not put it against the AM8 because the AM8 also has reigned supreme for a while. I've used the AM8 on my channel for some time because, well, it was just the better choice of budget microphones to utilize for a content creation like this, and it has yet to be beat. And if that's the case, why am I not using it now? It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you right now, but I will answer it hopefully by the end of this for myself. And I'm going to answer which one of the two, hopefully, potentially. You may still want to go with one or the other depending on who's the winner or the loser, and get yourself resolved in life. What? You don't know what you're doing? I don't know why I'm hiding the AM8. Come on out. Don't be shy. You're a boss. Yes, you're a boss in the budget realm. So don't worry, people accept you. So this is what we're going to do. PD200X versus the Fifine AM8. What else is there to talk about? Let's get to it. Round one. Huh. First round is the hardware build, right? What it looks like coming out of box, what it feels like, and the functionality of the hardware features built into both of these mics. Now, right now, I am running off of the Maono PD200X. In case you're wondering, I got both mics in my face. The PD200X is in play. So, and this is the quality of it. So let's talk about the hardware. Anyway, hardware. Metal construction on the PD200X by Maono, and comes with a shock mount. The AM8 is a plastic body. The only thing really metal on the AM8 is the U bracket that you use to mount onto your boom arm or your table stand. Obviously, they're both USB-C, they both are XLR, and they're both dynamic. The AM8 is significantly bigger than the Maono PD200X, has a different shape, has a little boxy square shape. RGB, you see it glowing right now in your face. I think they both have pretty nice RGB. They have just about the same features and settings of RGB when you're cycling through the settings. For the Maono, it is a hardware RGB. You hear the clicking on the bottom as you're clicking through the colors. See that? And on the AM8, it's a soft touch capacitive button, which you barely have to touch. I think that the only advantage that the PD200X may have with RGB over the AM8 is that you can utilize the PD200X with the Maono Link software. And in that software, you can get a little bit more granular with the RGB controls and set it and save it, and it will preserve those RGB colors. So right now I have my RGB on the Maono mic at about 30% brightness, right? So I can control the brightness. On the AM8, you cannot control the brightness. You can only control it turning on or off by holding the button for a few seconds and turning it back on. That is it. And you can cycle through the colors, obviously, through the actual button here on the mic. Monitor and gain controls here, a knob for the AM8. There's two separate ones. One is for monitor and one is for gain. On the Maono PD200X, it's a button that controls the monitor, which you can turn and it doesn't stop. You know when it's maxed out. When it flashes, then you know you're at your max. And then to turn to monitoring, you have to click it in and it turns blue, and now you know your monitoring is in effect. and then you click it again. The only problem with that is that, again, it's another hardware button. So you have a noisy RGB button and you have a noisy monitor and gain control button. On top of that, you also have a mute button on both. Again, the AM8, the mute is just silence, touch capacitive. Again, you just tap it, goes mute, tap it again, it turns on. On the PD200X, it is a hardcore clicking button that mutes your microphone. Hardware wise, it's kind of a draw. I'm leaning towards the PD200X because of its metal body and because of its shock mount and because of its appearance like this on camera. I like the AM8. It doesn't have that metal body. It's a little bit plasticky, and you kind of know when you start rubbing that plastic, you can hear it. Doesn't have a shock mount, and yeah, that's probably the real main reasons. And it's also pretty big and bulky. So depending what you like, if it's out of shot, right, you're going to use the AM8 and it's not going to be in your shot, then it's probably the perfect microphone to be using in your scenario. So for me, I would give the barely slight edge on the hardware to the PD200X, but that's just one factor, and it may be a minor factor for you. All right, so moving right along. All right, so starting with an out-of-box audio test with the PD200X. Now, just for reference, looking here, you'll see that the PD200X really has no filters. They are all silenced there. And if you look at the AM8 filter properties, they are also all silenced. So we have a raw out-of-box scenario going here, and this is the quality of the PD200X. What does this quality sound like? Up close and personal, microphone check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and sitting back 2.5 feet away, arm's length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I know these dynamics have a nice fall off issue when you sit back, so that's to be expected. Now let's switch over to the AM8. This is the out of box audio quality with the Fifine AM8, right up close and personal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's sit back a couple feet, right? Arm's length. We have it 2.5 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What does this audio quality sound like? No noise filtering, and we have my PC fans in the background just for some ambient noise, so we can see which one actually does a little bit better on the noise mitigation outside of your voice. So let me do a quick playback and we'll see which one kind of sounds good or better out of box. Let's take a look. God, coming out of box is a tough one because they both sound really close and fantastic at the same time. And just to get it out the way, you can't go wrong with the sound quality out of box with either of these. All right, so if you pick this one or that one, you're a winner either way. But I will say there are a couple of things perhaps that set them apart, right? So one is the pickup. For one, the AM8 has a bigger pickup than the PD200X, more gain out of box. That's just the reality of it. The K688 also had more gain than the PD200X. So PD200X has less gain than the Fifine K688 and the AM8. The AM8 has more gain than both of them. Two, the bass. The bass is good on both. However, there is a slight humming sound. Maybe the bass is getting too prolonged. Maybe it has something to do with the gain, but the AM8 has a little bit of humming on bass and lower mid-range levels that kind of were a little bit of annoying in my ears. It was a little bit of an extended hum with that bass, where the PD200X actually has a little less of that hum. The levels are, I feel like they're a little bit more balanced. You get good bass without that humming that leaks into the mid-range, and you get good highs. And then also the hissing was a little bit of annoying as well on the AM8. It was a little bit more pronounced to me, but not so sure just yet which is the winner to hiss. We'll do that in a second. But I think out-of-box quality right now goes to the K680, which is not even in the video. What? I think the out-of-box quality, just using it on the fly, recording and just uploading it, is the Maono PD200X. Here we go, plosives with background noise and everything going. Starting with the PD200X. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, poured them into a pitcher profusely. Now that's talking straight. Let's talk into it. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, and poured them into a pitcher profusely. Did a little bit of an exaggeration there, but we'll do the same on the AM8. Switching over down the middle with the AM8. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, poured them into a pitcher profusely. All right, let's blow right into it. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, poured them into a pitcher profusely. Why do I gotta hop when I do that? All right, let's do a little bit of a playback and we'll see who the Plosives winner is. Plosives winner is the PD200X. Yes. The AM8 is definitely, first of all, it is definitely popping louder. I can hear the distortion happening in my ear, and I can see the clipping happening in OBS. So a little bit better mitigation on the PD200X. It could be for a number of reasons that I've stated before. It could be the build quality of it. The windscreen on the PD200X is a little thicker and more thicker on the front end of it, with the capsule being recessed back. Could also be because of the bigger pickup on the AM8. So either way, the PD200X is the winner regardless of all of that stuff. The proof is in the action and in the sound you hear as you're doing it, whether it's made of plastic or titanium. The proof's in the pudding. So all right, moving right along, let's get into hissing. And I got to snap first because that's the wave. What? Starting with a hiss test with the PD200X. Here we go. Caesar salad is good with snakes and serpents, and then you fly with Superman into somebody's sauna. What? Switching to the AM8. Got cut off. Caesar salad is pretty good with Caesar snakes. And I'm just using S's and sexy words with Superman. Running out of words. I don't know what I'm saying. Superman, sexy salad, Caesar, sneeze, synapses. Switching to the PD200X. Caesar's salad, Superman, synapses, sexiness. Well, that's the hisses. Winner of the hiss test again goes to the PD200X. Yes, there is ever so slightly more hissing on the AM8. Now, they both have a little bit of sizzliness, hissiness to it, but the AM8 has ever so slightly more, again, for the same reasons why it has more plosives, probably because of the bigger pickup. Yeah, again, looks like the PD200X is kind of taking a little bit of a lead here. We're going to see as we progress forward. Moving right along. Going over XLR, techies and gamers, we are going to test with the Maono AUAM100 audio mixer, and as you see, I'm all connected and ready to go with two XLR connections, one for microphone 1 and 2, and I can control all the beauty happening with these microphones directly off of this mixer. I have done a full review of the AUAM100. Check the links in the description. So all right, this is the Maono PD200X right off of this Maono mixer. Hopefully there's no disadvantage here with Maono and Maono going. It sounds fantastic right here in my monitoring. It's super clean and clear and crispy, to the point where I have to be careful because those hisses just are a little bit more pronounced on the PD200X. It kind of just even changed the whole nature. This is a whole new microphone right now, Techies Gamers. Wow, it's catching my inhalations. Wow, asthma. And naturally, because of the loudness this is on right now, I have the mic maxed out on the mixer, so being careful not to talk too loud. But I can clip it with the mixer, and you're getting more noise because of that pickup. Stop breathing. At a distance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I can hear significant reverb in my monitoring. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just finish the countdown. And this is the quality. Sounds much louder because, well, it has improved in gain because of the mixer. It has improved just about in every respect here on this PD200X. Now, switching over to the AM8. This is the AM8 at close range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, those hisses are real too. But the quality is, wow, that clipped when I just smacked my lips. But the quality is also equally as good on, at least right now. I have to do some serious playback to see which is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, the reverb sounds even worse here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the distance about 2 feet away. The only true way we can really hear the difference is doing a really close back-to-back audio transition, possibly saying the same things, right? So I'm here today testing the PD200X, and I have switched to the PD200X, and this is the audio quality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am here today testing the Fifine AM8, and this is the Fifine AM8 audio quality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, the quality here is good. I'm in trouble because I'm not going to be able to tell which one is better. Switching back to the PD200X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me raise that gain up on my headset so I can hear it more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, there's a little bit of a difference there. I'm hearing something different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I just realized which one is better right now. Okay, so just going off of the initial connection via XLR to my mixer, no filters, no anything going, just plugging it in and playing. I feel like the PD200X sounds ever so slightly better than the AM8 for a couple of reasons. One, I think that the noise pickup from the HVAC system was less, it was lower, so it would allow my voice to sound better, I suppose, but it definitely has less pickup, less noise pickup than the AM8. 2, the mid-tone into lower bass, again, the AM8 is not escaping that. It's like a humming in the bass to mid-tones that didn't sound good. It was a slight congestion there, something I experienced with the Fifine K688. Minor, you won't notice it unless you compare it to something that's just sounding a little bit more open and less congestion-y as the PD200X. Also, the hissing directly connected to the XLR port here into the mixer was higher on the AM8, and that was kind of irritating my ears too much, more than the PD200X. They both have it, but when I lowered it to about level 7, right now I'm on 7.5, the hissing reduces quite significantly on the PD200X, but when I switch over to the AM8, you can hear that hissing. Oops. The hissing is pretty pronounced, more so on the AM8, and the slight congestion a little bit there, a little bit of hummy vibration in the mid to bass levels. Moving right along, let's move on to adding some noise suppression here over XLR. Starting with the PD200X, right now I have my fans on my PC playing, you can hear it. But once I hit the denoise switch, this is not the denoise switch, this is auto-tune by mistake. What? Denoise is in effect in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Whatever background noise we had is no longer present. Let's bump up that audio on the PD200X. It's sounding pretty good. So this is the audio quality of the PD200X going through XLR through the Maono AU-AM100. And let's make the switch over to the Fifine AM8. This is, wow, that's loud. This is the Fifine AM8 via XLR going into the AU-AM100 mixer by Maono. And this is the audio quality with denoise added to it. Talking directly into the microphone like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switching to the PD200X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have decided that the PD200X is the winner here over XLR with or without denoise. Yep, that is my decision here with the test for a couple of reasons, right? And I think they are the same reasons that it has beat the Fifine K688. Now, if you want to see that review, check the link in the description. I did a battle between the PD200X and the Fifine K688. The mid-range, the mid-tones, that's kind of the killer for me. The Maono PD200X has crispier, more balanced mid-range and bass. With the Fifine, I'm experiencing a little bit of congestion. I just switched over. Congestion in the mid to bass levels. And it kind of makes me sound a little bit congested, basically. Like I have my nose a little bit, like I have a cold or something. That's what I'm experiencing. That's what I'm hearing. And if you have good headphones, you probably will hear that. Let me know if you hear something different. And if you do, get better headphones. What? If you notice right now I'm on the AM8, and then if I just make the switch over to the PD200X, do you see how clear that is? Do you hear that mid-tone just like open up a little bit? I sound more like myself in monitoring over the PD200X than I do over the AM8. Right now in the budget realm, there's nothing really beating these two. But right now, the king for me is the Maono PD200X in terms of audio quality via USB-C as well as XLR. There you have it. The Maono PD200X has slightly by a toe hair past the finish line beat the Fifine AM8. Maybe more than a toe. Maybe it was the whole toe. What? The Maono PD200X, which I am using right now, is a much more clean, crispier, balanced sound. Overall, it's got its little hiss problems and stuff, right? And as well as hardware, I don't like the noisy buttons. That right there can be a killer. But guess what? I never use those buttons. And that's the reality. I hardly ever even touch the mic when I'm creating content. To be honest, whether it's this or if I'm gaming, I don't touch it. I don't. And if you have a mixer like I have here, you don't need to touch your mic. Some people have microphones that just do not have any of these features. You can mute it on the fly here via mixer. You can control your audio levels over the mixer, make it louder or lower. And that is the beauty of having an audio mixer. If you don't have a mixer, then that's when these buttons may come into play more, because you may find that you may have to mute. And when you do, that could be an issue here on the PD200X. You don't realize your microphone quality until you put it up against something that's pretty good. And I'm sure if I put the PD200X up against a more expensive, super high range, so-called high quality microphone, it probably will lose, and it may not even lose by that much. If you put it up against one of the Shure mics, you might have a hard time deciding which sounds better. So yeah, save your money and don't spend $500 on a mic when you can get something of an awesome quality like the PD200X. If you are going to be using your buttons on the fly a lot here, the only thing you're going to hear is when you turn your button is your finger rubbing the plastic. So it's not even that quiet unless you like kind of grab it consciously and very precisely, because once you just kind of like not looking and you grab it, You still get noise, not as much as the clicking, but you're gonna get it. Muting, you will get no noise muting. I'm gonna stick with using the PD200X. I find in my ears is just a little bit, it's superior to me. And that is my final take on this, Tech Easy Gamers. Let me know what you think about these two microphones, and if you are sad or don't believe that the PD200X is better than the AM8, then hey, that's on you, but you won't lose with the AM8 as a budget option either. It's cheaper than the PD200X by maybe $10 or so. So yeah, that's my final take on this, Tech Easy Gamers. I'm gonna go turn on my HVAC and stand in front of it because I'm sad. What?